Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Lesetja Kganyago, with the request that you confer on him the degree Doctor of Commerce, honoris causa. The decision by Council and Senate to award him this degree was taken on the grounds of the following considerations. Ladies and gentlemen, as 10th Governor of the South African Reserve Bank, Lesetja Kganyago has gained international recognition for his formidable display of intellectual leadership in policy areas such as price and financial stability. Also in his prior role as the Director General of the National Treasury, he established himself as one of the finest public policy minds in the country. Holding the degrees DCom in Accounting and Economics and MSc in Development Economics, various positions in the banking industry eventually led Kganyago to the National Treasury. Here he served in a range of capacities, including that of Director General from 2004 until 2011. During this time, he successfully steered several reforms in public finance and financial markets. He oversaw the fundamental reform of the microstructure of domestic bond markets and of the management of the national debt portfolio. He also led South Africa's technical team to various G20 finance ministers and governors meetings and summits, and chaired both the International Monetary Fund World Bank Development Committee of Deputies and the G20 Working Group on IMF governance reform. He then moved to the South African Reserve Bank, first as Deputy Governor and since 2014 as Governor. Under his capable leadership, inflation fell to 3.8% in March this year, the lowest level since February 2011. Leading from the front, Kganyago jealously guarded the independence of the Reserve Bank when it came under attack, and has succeeded in warding off efforts to have the SARB's constitutional mandate amended. Under his watch, one of the most comprehensive changes to the regulatory architecture of the financial sector was completed with the implementation of the so-called Twin Peaks model. This model formalizes the previous financial stability mandate of the SARB and has seen the bank assuming overall prudential regulatory responsibility for the wider financial industry. The influence of this skilled economic policymaker also extends beyond South Africa's borders. Apart from chairing the Committee of Central Bank Governors of the Southern African Development Community, he was also appointed chair of the International Monetary and Financial Committee in January this year. The IMFC is the primary advisory body to the IMF's Board of Governors and deliberates on the principal policy issues facing the IMF. Kganyago is the first central bank governor from sub-Saharan Africa to hold this position. Dames en here, die bestendige wyse waarop Lesetja Kganyago Suid-Afrika se monetêre beleid bestuur, het hom al etlike eerbewyse besorg. Dit sluit in Global Markets se sentrale bank president van die jaar vir Afrika suid van die Sahara in Oktober verlede jaar, Sunday Times se sakeleier van die jaar in November verlede jaar, en Central Banking se sentrale bank president van die jaar in Maart hierdie jaar. As begaafde ekonomiese beleidspraktisyn het Lesetja Kganyago baie tot die geloofwaardigheid en deursigtigheid van Suid-Afrika se fiskale en monetêre beleid bygedra. Terselfdertyd ken hy die kuns om ekonomiese beleid in praktyk te omskep deur bewysgegronde navorsing te bevorder en robuuste institusionele meganismes vir implementering in te stel. Hy vergestalt integriteit, verantwoordbaarheid en uitnemendheid, waardes wat die Universiteit Stellenbosch na aan die hart lê. Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I hereby request that you confer the degree Doctor of Commerce, honoris causa, on Lesetja Kganyago for his steady hand in directing South Africa's monetary policies, standing firm despite force of circumstance, for his formidable display of intellectual leadership in policy areas such as price and financial stability, and for his role as one of the finest public policy minds in the country, as well as his immense contribution to the credibility, and transparency of South Africa's fiscal and monetary policies.
I hereby confer on you, Lesetja Kganyago, the degree Doctor of Commerce, honoris causa. Well done. Congratulations. Well done. Thank you.
I would say all protocols observed. It is my distinct honor and privilege to be invited to be part of the University of Stellenbosch community. I will be delivering a lecture at this university in the first quarter of next year, so let me just make a few points. Given the history of our country, it is important that this institution pursues with vigor the transformation journey that you embarked on a number of years ago, build on its successes, and learn from its shortcomings. Our history is an important part of learning and healing of the wounds of the past. We can't just drive this transformation, metaphorically speaking, looking in our rear-view mirror. We need to clearly spell out the kind of institution we would like to see in the future. An institution that would be diverse, not just in terms of demographics, but one that promotes diversity of thought. An institution that would stay relevant to the society we are part of. For the university to play a meaningful role in the transformation of itself and the society, it needs the space to do so. It is thus important for the university community, particularly its students and academic staff, to pursue the truth in a manner that is consistent with professional standards of inquiry, commonly referred to as academic freedom. Today, we might be taking academic freedom for granted because the Constitution guarantees it. But academic freedom in this country is a result of gallant battles waged by men and women who were keen to see the transformation of our country. We should not take academic freedom for granted. We must not just embrace it. We must vigorously defend it should it come under attack from whatever quarter. There will always be contestation in society. It is important that contestation in society takes place within robust and credible institutional frameworks. In these contestations, it is important that it is not just the best organized who could cause disruptions that are heard. Institutions in a democracy matter, and quality institutions matter even more. Our country, through the Constitution and other laws, has created and protects strong institutions. If at all the institutions of our democracy could be threatened or undermined, it would not be because the enemies of our democracy are stronger, but it would be that good men and women, the Democrats, would have cowed and failed to stand up. But institutions are only as good as the mandates that society tasks them with. Mandate creeps or forever expanding mandates that the institutions are not designed for undermine the quality of the institutions. The transformation journey is not going to be easy. There will be lots of hazards and even traps along the way. Over the past few years, some of our key institutions have been undermined. Some have been blatantly attacked, while others were systematically gutted. A number of institutions are still standing, and some are even getting stronger. The SARB is one of the institutions that came under attack in the past few years. We survived and are still pursuing our constitutional mandate. We didn't lie down to be trampled upon by enemies of our democracy who tried to undermine our constitutional mandate and independence. The good men and women of the South African Reserve Bank used every lever they could lay their hands on to defend constitutionalism and the future of our country. South Africa, rest assured that we shall not relent and we remain at your service. Once again, let me thank the Nominations Committee, the Vice-Chancellor, the Chancellor, and the entire community of Stellenbosch University for bestowing this doctorate on me. I am now part of you. I take it that this honor is not just about me, but about the good men and women of the South African Reserve Bank, that you recognized the work we do for our country. Lastly, a special word of thanks to my lovely wife and children for continuous support and for being the moral compass that has helped me stay the course during these testing times.